told me my blood pressure is borderline. I figured I could worry about it or do something about it. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula. It works safely and naturally to help maintain healthy blood pressure with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Rocket 102.5.
With your updated forecast, I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley from the Weatherology Weather Center. Bright sunshine expected today with daytime highs approaching 104. Westerly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies again tonight, 71. Daytime highs approaching 99 tomorrow. Mainly clear. Mainly clear skies and dry Thursday and Friday. Upper 90s Thursday, near 100 by Friday. Take a look at the extended forecast. 98 Saturday, 98 Sunday, and 100 on Monday. Another look at the short range. We should top off around 104 today. Lows level off around 71 tonight. A high of 99 tomorrow. Get up to the minute weather updates from the Weatherology Weather Center. I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley on this NWKS radio station. Currently, it's 70 degrees.
In recent months, some people looking for Midwest Energy on Google have reported sponsored ads pop up with different phone numbers, connecting them to scammers. When online, always look closely at links and phone numbers before clicking or calling. Midwest Energy's only phone number is 1-800-222-3121. Any other number, and it's likely a scam. Midwest Energy, a customer-owned cooperative, making energy work for you.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery ingestion and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
This year, wouldn't it be great to stop dealing with thin, brittle, shedding hair and instead have the thick, healthy, gorgeous hair you've always wanted? Now you can by using Hair Volume from New Nordic. Look for Hair Volume at your local Walgreens and CVS or online at Amazon.com or NewNordicUSA.com.
Brought to you by Navage. Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Keep your ride running at peak performance by scheduling an appointment with the Daves at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Hurl's has a full-service service department where they'll work on all makes and models, not just GM. They do tire repair and replacement. They'll make sure your AC is running at its best for these hot summer months. Plus, customers who bought a used vehicle from Hurl's get a lifetime warranty and reduced oil change prices. So get your appointment scheduled today by calling 785-890-0000. That's 890-0000 and ask for Dave. You're sure to get one of them.
Fraudsters are out to get your hard-earned money, but you can protect yourself by following 3 simple steps. 1, don't give your account number, card information, or online banking login credentials to anyone. 2, be cautious in responding to unexpected pop-up windows or text messages. And 3, watch your accounts. If you suspect that your bank information has been compromised, call your FNB Bank immediately. We are here to help you protect your hard-earned money. FNB Bank, member FDIC.
Hi, Josh at Oakley Ag Center, your Case IH dealer.
Optimize your yield with Case IH Axial Flow Combines at Oakley Ag Center. From header to spreader, Axial Flow's industry-leading innovations put higher quality grain in the tank and more profits in your pocket. Get the capacity you need with easy adjustment options to match your crop and field condition, all while minimizing potential grain loss. Take control of your harvest and rethink your productivity.
Call or stop by Oakley Ag Center, Colby Ag Center, or Hoxie Implement, your Northwest Kansas Case IH dealers.
Rise and shine. It's butt whipping time.
It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
That broadcast school has really paid off.
And Christian Peck-Dimit.
Do you want to keep this job? Shut up, listen, learn.
The region's only local sports talk show, discussing it all from the preps to the pros.
What time is it? Game time!
Simulcasting on AM 730 Fox Sports Tri-State, streaming online at nwksradio.net and the Rockingham app.
They are everywhere.
The Blitz is presented by the Insurance Agency, the Farmers State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
Chacon from Italy in lane 5. Looks like he's got the slight edge as they come to the wall. It is Chacon. Shoe with a silver. And Murph is back on a podium as the Olympic. Oh! The left field. Did he get it? Benintendi is back.
Grand slam. Bobby Witt Jr. in a 6-run 8th inning. Good things come to those who wait.
The drought is over. Team USA, they will be on that medal stand.
And good Tuesday morning. Welcome back inside the Morning Blitz on 102.5, on Goodland's Rock at 102.5. Of course, Fox Sports Tri-State, AM 730. Ross Volkmer, Christian Peck-Dimit with you here. Also on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream on this Tuesday morning. We're expected to be 104. Ho, ho, ho. Christian, do you like to play golf in 100-degree temps?
I'm going to pass on that. No. It's going to be 105 here, so we might have the leg up on you. And we've got the Thomas County Fair Parade today.
That's right, the big parade.
Set at 5 Central. Of course, come out, be safe, come see us. That's ridiculous. Why put it at the hottest time in the day? On the hottest day of the week.
5 o'clock, by the way, is not the hottest time in the day. It might just be 100 degrees instead of 105 at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
That would be incorrect, according to all of my weather apps.
I think they say it's going to be 105 at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. See, I always think like the hottest time of the day is like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's what I thought, and then I moved here, and now it's hot at 4:30, and it doesn't make any sense to me. And I've complained.
I want you to set a
times.
reminder in your phone to fact check that. I think they're going to be wrong.
Okay.
I think they're going to be wrong.
That has been proven many times to me, and I've complained. And Christina goes, "No, that's normal. That's what it is." And no, the normal places get hot at 2:30, but that's okay. We deal with it.
Yeah, between 2 and 3 o'clock, maybe even 4, 5 o'clock. You know, the sun's starting to go down. I would think that'd be not 105, maybe 100.
The sun is not starting to go down at 5 o'clock, Ross. Not for another 3 months. The sun sets today at 9 p.m.
No, it's whatever. It's not at the highest point in the sky. Is my point? It's on its way down. I guess I don't know. I'm no meteorologist or astrologist.
Let's make it very clear. I would not complain if it were
100 degrees.
Cooler,
well, the amazing thing is it is going to be 105 today, and Christian's got on a quarter zip, so I don't get this at all.
Well,
makes no sense to me.
The assumption was I was going to change for the parade, but that will remain.
Is a quarter zip necessary this morning?
It is. It is. We've decided that it is.
Didn't do laundry or something.
No, we just feel like dressing up once in a while. So
well, I get that, but you know, polos do come in short sleeve varieties, believe it or not.
We got a polo on underneath.
So why the quarter zip on the top? I don't get this.
Because I wasn't thinking, Ross.
Okay, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. A lot like this show. Anyway, good Tuesday morning, everybody. It is July 30th. It's going to be a blistering 100+ degrees today. But for the next hour, we're going to talk sports right here on Goodland's Rock at 102.5 and AM 730 Fox Sports Tri-State. Today's program, hope to have Bill Bierman in studio. He confirmed that he was going to be in here today. Hopefully he will be in here and won't forget. I don't think he will. He's pretty good about that. He'll join us in studio talking Goodland Cowgirl basketball after a phenomenal season last year that saw the Cowgirls make it back to the state tournament for the 3rd consecutive year. What do they have in tap for this upcoming season? What has the summer program been like from Coach Bierman's perspective? He'll join us coming up at the bottom of the hour. We will also get into today's show MLB trade deadline is today. An update on what's happened so far and maybe what could be happening today at the buzzer of the MLB trade deadline. We'll see about that. Also, a great story in Paris in the walk-off. A great story in Paris. But I want to start off the show with two, I thought, decent headlines yesterday pertaining to regional teams in the area. First and foremost, on the diamond, where last night Bobby Witt Jr. hit his 19th home run. It was of the Grand Slam variety that gave Kansas City what was trailing by 5-4, an 8-5 lead, and eventually win over the White Sox, who have now lost 15 straight games. A Major League Baseball team has lost 15 in a row. That's what's happened. And Bobby Witt Jr. was at the precipice of that. He was at the epicenter of that point of making that game of a Royals victory. And so I guess with that, and by the way, he went 4 of 5 on the night with that home run. He had a double, a couple of singles, drove in 4 runs, scored twice. He is batting an immaculate 347. 347. It's absolutely nuts. And if he stays on this tear, I'm telling you, and this tear is ridiculous. It'd be really hard to keep this pace. But if he stays on this, he's going to be sniffing in the upper 300s. He's going to be sniffing that. I'm talking like 375, 380 maybe, which is just ridiculous. A guy that plays every single day to have that kind of batting average is nuts. And so I guess I pose the question here. Do we need to start having more MVP talks for Bobby Witt Jr.?
It was sort of interesting when you threw this question in our doc for today. It wasn't something that I had considered as much as maybe we should have. So in theory, the answer would be yes, we do need to be having more MVP talks. The trouble is Aaron Judge exists. And so even though Bobby Witt is probably number 2, top 2 in the MVP race, he is number 2 and realistically a relatively distant second. But I'll tell you what, the stats make it look relatively close, and then you sort of he starts to trail off as you read him off a little bit. Let me get you some stats here between Aaron Judge and Bobby Witt, who, by the way, betting odds-wise are number 1 and number 2 for the AL MVP this year. Though I will say that the betting odds do make it a rather drastic case for Mr. Witt. It's about minus 1,000 to bet on Mr. Judge right now. But despite taking 40 more, just under 40 more, 39 more at-bats than Judge this season, they played in the same number of games, but for whatever reason, Witt has far more. That's a relatively significant number, 40 more at-bats. He has less than half of the homers of Judge. He has 19 homers, which of course was incredible and got him into the home run derby. But Aaron Judge has hit 39, and along with that has just under 25, has 24 more RBIs as well. Has almost triple the number of walks that Bobby has. Really the one stat, the two stats probably that Bobby leads Aaron Judge in is stolen bases. Bobby Baseball's got 4 times as many. And then, as Ross mentioned, he's got that league or that batting average that's just ridiculous and league leading at 347 right now, which, by the way, over the last 15 days has gotten even better. We've talked about how much of a tear he's been on. Let me put this into perspective. Bobby Witt, just over the last 2 weeks, so over the last 15 days, is batting 575. 575. Come on. That's crazy. He's 23 of 40 over the last 15 days. That's just wild. I mean, come on. He's got a 1.58 ERS or OPS. That's beyond ridiculous. He's having a great year. He should be in MVP talks, but as long as we're being realistic here, Aaron Judge is way out ahead head and shoulders.
What is the difference in home runs and RBIs between Judge and Witt at this point in time?
Bobby has 19 homers on the year. Very solid. Enough to get
Judge
him
has got
where
35,
he is.
I think. Is that right?
Judge has 39.
39, okay.
So more than
20
double.
more. Okay.
Yeah. You can say 20 more. You can also say more than double, which is ridiculous when you're talking about, between the first and a guy that's top 15 in the league in homers.
But Bobby Witt would lead him in average. He would beat him in stolen bases.
Yep, that's what I said. Those are the two.
Those are the only two. That's the only two things he beats him in at this point in time.
That is correct.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate.
I mean, it's who knows? There's still quite a bit of season left. We still got to get through the whole month of August yet, and not to the end of September though. Am I wrong on that? Or we got to go through September too? Yeah, we go through September. We got a whole 2 months left of this season left, and then the postseason. So, you're probably right, Christian. I mean, more than likely, we're going to see Aaron Judge take home an MVP title. But boy, the season that Bobby Witt Jr. is having, and in particular here, right after the All-Star break, and even leading into the All-Star break, has been remarkable to watch. I mean, 4 of 5. Like looking at the box score last night. I'm just like, oh, the Royals won. I wonder what Bobby Witt did. 4 of 5. Oh my gosh. Grand slam. Oh my goodness.
4 of 5 and a grand salami in the same game is pretty wild. It's one of those things, Ross, where you almost feel bad that Aaron Judge is having the year that he is, because if he wasn't having this simply ridiculous run, Bobby would be, and he's still in the MVP conversation, but not seriously, not because of how well Aaron's doing. So it's almost that conversation of, well, he's in it, but in any other year, he'd really be neck and neck. He'd be right up there.
Yeah, it's been a crazy run for him. And once again, if you're a Royals fan, you just have to be ecstatic about what kind of player you have right now playing for you at this point in time. Now, yeah, there's going to be some seasons more than likely where Bobby Witt won't have these ridiculous numbers. He'll go through some tough years, a year or two, but you got to feel just super ecstatic about having just a phenomenal player being the cornerstone of your franchise for many, many years to come, because it's only his second full season in Major League Baseball. And he's one of the cornerstones of this great crop of young talent in Major League Baseball. Joining the likes of Paul Skeens and Ellie De La Cruz, O'Neill Cruz, these really great freaks of athletes that and when they're hitting, I mean, they can hit for power, they can hit for average, they can steal bases. There's a lot. Corbin Carroll, Gunnar Henderson, yes, very much so. A lot of great young athletes, a lot of great young talented players in Major League Baseball right now. And Bobby Witt Jr. Is he number one on the? If you were to put the top young players in baseball, is he number one?
You'd have to think so. And I was going to say there, I'm not wrong to say Gunnar started over him in the All-Star game, yeah? Over Bobby?
Yes,
I believe that he did. And come on. I mean,
Gunnar's right there with Bobby Witt Jr. with second best odds for the MVP.
He's right there, but he is behind. So Bobby's got to feel a little bit good about how he's starting right now with respect to that. And yeah, I think Bobby has a play here for the best shortstop in baseball, and it's really just him and Gunnar, you'd have to assume.
Yeah, they're fantastic, and yeah, like I said, probably if not the best, one of the top 2 or 3. And Ellie De La Cruz is a phenomenal ball player for the Reds. He's amazing, and a lot of fun to watch. He does do sometimes some things you're like, what are you doing? But he is impressive. And Paul Skeens, we all know what he's doing on the bump for the Pirates. He's been amazing.
He hit his 100th career strikeout
already,
which is, come on, dude. He's been pitching in the majors for like 3 months.
Yeah,
Wild.
he's been amazing. So yeah, very, very impressive youth of crop of baseball. But Bobby Witt Jr. is probably sitting at the top, or if not at the top, very near the top of the great players that are going to be leading Major League Baseball's future for years to come, and that's super, super exciting. Once again, if you're Kansas City,
we've been talking awards here at the beginning of the show, and that AL MVP, should Bobby be up for it? I referenced a couple times, and Ross did as well, the betting odds, depending on where you go. Bobby and Gunnar Henderson are tight or not so much between number 2 and 3, but no matter where you go, Aaron's got a big lead, minus 1,000 or so. And then Bobby in second, I've seen him at 650, plus 650. I've seen him at plus 800, and then Gunnar at plus 1,000. So for those of you that are bettors, that's pretty good value for Bobby, but I think Aaron's got a head and shoulders lead, and it's probably going to stay that way, though, the Royals fan in me is hoping that's not the case. The non-bettors out there, though, I would just tell you, what do those numbers mean? They mean Aaron could strike out the next 100 at-bats, and he'd still probably have a lead on the MVP. But Bobby has a pretty healthy lead there on second place.
So anyway, great night of baseball last night too. Not only the big hit for Bobby Witt Jr., Arizona Diamondbacks came from 6-0 behind to beat the Nationals in the bottom of the ninth on a 2-run walk-off. Another great young player in Corbin Carroll, who's having that sophomore slump year after a great rookie season, having a sophomore slump, but is kind of digging his way out of it right now. Big 2-run walk-off run as the Diamondbacks erased a 6-0 deficit to get the win. They were down by 3 going into the top of the ninth, and somebody out of this 2 broadcast team turned the game off at that point in time. So I did not watch. I went to sleep instead.
That is unfortunate.
That's all right. I saw the highlights this morning, and that was good enough for me.
I saw the D-backs names thrown around, as long as we have a moment here to hit some trade deadline. I saw them thrown around with a certain Detroit ace in their name.
Oh, my gosh.
Not Scoobs. Flaherty.
I thought it was.
Flaherty.
Oh, Jack Flaherty. Oh, okay.
Who would be not the pickup Scoobs is, but nobody is. But Flaherty's an ace in and of himself. I'd be interested to see if that goes down. I know the Yankees were also talking to him.
Yeah, I don't know.
About him.
The Diamondbacks have a very nice farm system, and I know they probably don't want to give up the farm. Not that you have to give up for Flaherty, but, Scoobs or somebody. Along those lines of great pitchers, you're probably going to have to give up a farm to either get a high leverage reliever or a starting pitcher. Right now, if you're Arizona, you're just hoping and praying that the guys that you invested in, like Merrill Kelly and Eduardo Rodriguez, who are 2 very, very good starting pitchers, but have been injured pretty much most of the season, you're just hoping that they get right in time for like the last month to 3 weeks so that you can make a great push at the end and secure your spot in the wild card. You're not going to catch the Dodgers. You have half the payroll of them, but you just go out there and you try to make one of those 3 wild card spots. And right now, despite not having 2 of your better pitchers, you are in the hunt. I think they're actually either a half game out or they're the last team in right now when it comes to the wild card in the National League. So anyway, yes, we'll talk more on the trade deadline coming up in our final segment. Half game out. Okay. Well, before we get to break, yesterday we spent a good amount of time talking about NFL football quarterbacks getting ridiculous deals. Anyway, yesterday the media went and talked with Patrick Mahomes, asking if he thought that he was underpaid at this point in time in his career, and especially with all the money that's been thrown around to quarterbacks like Tua and Jordan Love, who have a combined 1 playoff win. And Patrick Mahomes has more Super Bowl rings than those guys have playoff wins. In fact, 3 times as many. But this is what Patrick Mahomes had to say. He says, it's awesome for the game of football. It's awesome for the quarterback position, but I think all positions. I know every time a contract comes up, everybody looks at my average per year and everything like that. I'm doing pretty well myself. For me, it's about going out there and trying to win football games, trying to make money for my family at the end of the day. I feel like I'm doing a great job at that. Well, remember, Patrick Mahomes right now making around $52.6 million per season at this point in time, with plans to revisit that agreement at some point in time, obviously. Look, at some point in time, when you make that amount of money, $52 million a year, what else can you buy that's going to make you any happier with $52 million a year or going up even more than that?
I hope to find out.
Yep, I do too. That'd be great. It never will, but it'd be great to find out. I love the answer from Patrick Mahomes because that is the best quarterback in the game. I think many people would agree with that statement.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't feel like as if he has to be paid like he is the number one quarterback in the game. He's up there, but he's not the number one, and that's okay with him. At some point in time, you've made enough money, and you're going to make. At 28 years old, you're probably going to get another massive deal like this, maybe two. And if you can go out there and at some point in time, when you're like Patrick Mahomes, you're like, we need to have some money for playmakers. We got to be able to pay the guys around me. I'm nothing if we don't have good protection up front and guys that can actually catch the football, which the Chiefs really struggled with that last year, as we all remember. They struggled catching the football at times. To have those high-quality players around him makes him look better and helps him win those more important things, which are the rings.
I don't know if this was intentional. I think it was absolutely brilliant. Just a super, super smart move by Patrick Mahomes to restructure his contract earlier this season. So that way, when all the new deals comes out, he gets to stand in front of the media and look like he's playing the high road, even though he specifically in March went to the Chiefs and said, I want to be the highest paid, restructure my deal so that I get a whole bunch of more money front loaded over the next 4 years. Throw me $208 million before 2026, which at the time was the highest paid, made him the highest paid player in any 4-year deal span in the history of football. So I think it was absolutely brilliant because now he gets to get people like Ross and probably the majority of the media to then be like, look how humble he is. And he's making money for his playmakers. And what a great job.
I'm not saying that's what
money
he's doing.
for his
He
playmakers.
should
He's
do
getting
that.
$3 million per year less than the most paid player in the history of any human being to ever touch a football. I don't think he's exactly doing anything brilliant.
No.
The one thing I will say is that then after restructuring that, they went back a few months later, restructured again, not the actual money, not the amount that he's getting, but the cap hit. For those of you that aren't football nerds the way Ross and I are, every deal has the amount of money they actually get paid in total and then per season. And then they also have something called a cap hit. So let's say that deal's $200 million. You have to then take a hit to your cap that is almost exactly the same depending on how the deal is structured and what's guaranteed. But it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the amount that money actually hits against your team's salary cap. And what the Chiefs did that was sort of brilliant was they super backloaded over that restructured deal, the cap hit. So he's only taking for this coming year $37 million off of the cap, despite getting, of course, $52 million a year. What does that mean? It means for the next 2 years, in 2025 and 6, there's over $66 million per year hit against the cap from Mahomes alone. That's a quarter of the cap just to Patty. But on the other side, what does it mean? It means that for this year, they get to make deals like the ones they did with Chris Jones, like, even though it didn't work out, the franchise tagging of L'Jarius Sneed. It was creative to win right now. It may hurt them the next couple of years down the line, but it's been interesting what he's done with his deal so that he can do a whole bunch of different things. They can get money for playmakers now. They can call him the highest paid in the league. He can also pretend to be taking the high road. It was I don't know how planned out it was, but it was pretty smart.
Yeah, Brett Veach is a master working around that stuff. He really has proven his worth with how he's been able to get guys paid and how they've been able to keep people happy, and of course keep winning at the same time. So that's a kind of the trifecta right there. Get people paid, keep them happy, and of course win, which makes everybody happy. So yeah, it's been an impressive run for the Chiefs. And once again, Patrick Mahomes saying the right things. There's no doubt he'll get his contract restructured. He'll make gobs more money in his time. There's no doubt about that. He's been very, very impressive. And once again, like we said yesterday, he's probably the only quarterback, maybe 1 out of 3, that probably deserves to get paid what he's, where he's at this point in time. So
per year, the highest paid quarterbacks in the league right now are Tua, Jordan Love, Joe Burrow, and Trevor Lawrence. You take out Joe Burrow, because we've sort of talked back and forth. I think that's probably one of the guys that deserve that money. But Trevor Lawrence last year had a 56.1 QBR. That was 17th in the league. 17th. That's also the best QBR he's ever finished with in a single year in his career. So he's getting paid the most money per year in the league. Let's take that off the list as far as deserving. Tua has exactly 0 playoff wins. Let's take that out of the count. Jordan Love has started 1 year of NFL football. Come on. It's crazy. It is. It's ridiculous.
I'm not disagreeing one bit. Like we talked about yesterday, we don't need to open up that whole other can of worms. It's ridiculous about how much money is getting thrown around like that. And it almost be. I tell you, we're getting to the point to where the amount of money that's changing, and how much money each time a contract is done. It's almost like as a player, you're probably torn. Like, what's the correct amount of length in a contract versus, well, maybe I just sign a 2-year deal and I get paid $60 million a year and then re-up it again the following year or 2 years later for $70 million a year. And we just keep doing that. But then, of course, injuries and things like that prevent you from doing that. So you're like, well, 4 years, I guess we can make it 4 years and then we'll see. I mean, think about it. It really is. I mean, if you knew that you were going to be healthy, you'd be like, I'll just sign a 2-year deal because coming up in the next few years, we're going to absolutely have way more money. Yeah. And I'll get paid even more.
Ross, I couldn't have said it any better myself. It's to what extent do you want to bet on yourself? Because if Patrick Mahomes, instead of signing that 10-year deal, which then he got cold feet restructured, now it's essentially a 4-year deal. But let's say that was super binding and he had to stick with exactly how it was for 10 years. Mahomes signs that 10-year deal. By the end of the 10 years, he's probably the lowest paid starting quarterback in the league.
Probably true. This is just like the ACC and their grant of rights deal and television deal with ESPN that goes to 2036, which is why Florida State and Clemson want to get out of it because they're stuck in that for a whole nother decade plus. And guess what? The Big Ten and the SEC are going to re-up their television contracts another time before that even goes away. And so they're going to make even more money than the ACC, which once again is a big reason why Florida State and Clemson want to get out of it.
But at the time, it looked like a lot of money, Ross.
At the time, it was a ton of money. And you're like, oh my gosh, for that long, way to go. Way to secure that deal. That's awesome. Now it's about, well, because money's inflating so much over just a short period of time, now you want shorter deals so you can make more money. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, that's a fun conversation. Let's get to a break. When we come back, Bill Beerman's going to join us in studio. We'll have an update on Goodland Cowgirl basketball over the summer. You're listening to the Morning Blitz.
The color orange usually means caution. Well, let me caution you that you only have this week to take advantage of the Kubota Orange Sales Event at Colby Ag Center. Yeah, for this week only, take advantage of sale prices on orange-colored Kubota mowers, utility tractors, and RTV side-by-sides. Financing's available. It's the Kubota Orange Day Sales Event. It's going on this week only through this Saturday the 3rd at Colby Ag Center. Let me ask you, have you ever rode a Kubota?
Don't miss out on the anniversary sale currently happening at Vince's GM Center in Burlington. Vince's is a family-owned and operated Chevrolet and GMC dealership that has been serving the tri-state area for over 4 decades. To celebrate this milestone, Vince's is offering large discounts on both new and pre-owned inventory. With the largest selection in the tri-state area, Vince's is sure to meet your vehicle needs and your budget. Shop their entire sale at vincesgmcenter.com. Vince's GM Center on Rose Avenue in Burlington, where they've been selling cars for over 40 years and making friends for life.
Good morning. This is Tyler Ghosh with the Andersons in Overland Park, Kansas with your morning market update. It is Tuesday, July 30th. Overnight sessions have commodities set to open lower. Step corn down 4 cents at 392.5. The beef is down 4 1/4 at 408, and the March is down 4 1/4 at 422 3/4. Beans on the SEP are down 17 cents at 10.13. The Nove is down 16 3/4 at 10.22 3/4, and the Jan is down 16.5 at 10.38.5. Kansas City wheat on the SEP down 15 3/4 at 5.37 3/4. The beef down 15.5 at 5.53 3/4, and the March is down 15 at 5.67 3/4. Chicago wheat on the SEP is down 11 1/4 at 5.19 3/4. December down 11.5 at 5.43 3/4, and the March is down 11 3/4 at 5.64.5. S&P 500 is up 10 points at 5,512. The Dow is down 35 points at 40,736. Nasdaq up 58 points at 19,266. Crude oil down 75 cents per barrel at $75.07. And gold is up $6 an ounce at $2,431. If you have any cash grain you'd like to move or want to learn more about our freedom pricing tools, reach out and give us a call. You can reach myself, Taylor Ghost, Jared Law, or Tom Saludo at 913-748-3000. If you're out in Colorado, give John Hankey a call at 970-744-4484.
Challenge. It's not something you shy from. It's a chance to up your game. Every day brings a new challenge, but with the enhanced Channel Seed brand on your side, you can rise to it. With our top-performing seed, innovative digital tools, and expanded agronomic support, you can turn tomorrow's challenges into your next advantage. Your enhanced Channel Seed brand. Let's rise to the challenge. Learn more at channel.com/rise. Read and follow pesticide label directions, IRM, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
When it comes to growing soybeans, you need an advantage. And with Zetavo soybean seed, you get a big one. 3.4 bushels per acre big. It's a yield advantage made possible by BASF genetics, proprietary germplasm, and industry-leading seed quality. Talk to your retailer today about staying ahead of the game with Zetavo soybean seed. From BASF, Zetavo soybean seed.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, and cleaner American fuel. This message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Summertime is here, and so are your local Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware stores with anything and almost everything you need for these warm days. Give your place a new look with Benjamin Moore paints. Keep your lawn looking its best with mowers, blowers, and trimmers from Craftsman, Toro, and Ego. And they still have that amazing selection of outdoor grills from Traeger and Weber, plus the popular flat-top Blackstone griddles. Find it all and much more at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Colby and Goodland, open every day but Sunday.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery ingestion and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Back to the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
We're back here on the Morning Blitz on this Tuesday, July the 30th. We'll get to a little bit of MLB trade deadline and a cool story from the Olympics in the walk-off coming up a little bit later on, but we're pleased to be joined in studio by Goodland Cowgirl basketball coach Bill Bierman, who joins us. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning.
Summer, you said, hasn't been a whole lot of fun for you. Haven't had a lot of vacation time, despite maybe getting out for some basketball stuff. So I'm sorry to hear that. But how has the basketball been this summer?
Well, that's okay. So that's what summer becomes a little bit when we look at the vacation plans a little bit. How do we wrap it around basketball a little bit? So it's been good. We've had a great summer.
This last year, I want to just kind of reflect upon that because I thought last year was such a great story. You graduated a lot of seniors from a couple years ago, and, of course, you were back-to-back state champs. And to have not a whole entire new crop of young ladies, but a lot of girls kind of coming in and filling new positions, whether that was the key scorer or key rebounder or a person off the bench. And to make it all the way to the final day of the state tournament and to play for third place, ended up taking fourth place. That, I'm sure when you reflect back, that had to be almost as rewarding of a season as the ones of winning a state championship, I would think.
Yeah, you've heard coaches say that probably before a little bit. Every season's kind of unique in the feeling that it has and what it means. And certainly last year was no different than that. I think the girls came in with something to prove. They wanted to prove that they could do it and that, they wanted to write their story. And I think they did that, and so it was a great experience. It's been fun. I've what you go back, you watch film, or at least I do. We weren't really that far out of it. I think if we shoot the ball better, we could have been right there again. I didn't think that, when you lose by 10 or 12 like that we did in both of those games to Heston and then Topeka Hayden, maybe you feel some separation there, but my gosh, I didn't really feel like we were that far away in those games either. So just a great season, great group of girls, certainly carried by Jaxie and Haley probably, and then Block had a great year. And then we just kind of brought the others along, and it was a lot of fun.
And now you have to go about trying to fill the holes of those three seniors that you talked about. And so how has that process been so far, whether it was after the season and going into the summer now?
Well, it's probably played out about like I thought it would. I felt kind of coming into the summer and now into this year that we had probably 5 decent players we could put on the floor. I think we can do that. And 5 girls with experience, even though we lost 3 really good seniors. Jacelyn wasn't able to play late last year, but you still kind of feel like we've got 5 starters in a way coming back. Now they've got a lot of work to do to get where we want to be. So, and then really what this is going to be about is it's how can Coach Bierman develop 6, 7, 8, 9, right? The depth behind that. We've got work to do there too, but some girls I think who are chomping at the bit and wanting to fill those slots as well.
How do you go about doing that? I know the 10,000 shot club over the summer is pretty big, but how else do you try to go about trying to find those next pieces?
Well, it's interesting. Part of my talk, I get the opportunity to talk at the Keisha Coaching Clinic here coming up next week, and a portion of my segment's player development. I think that's you got to work on that, and I think I'm probably talking a little bit about that because I feel like kind of seems like in this day and age of coaching, sometimes I feel like that's maybe laxed a little bit. Like we kind of just take the talent we have and hope that maybe those girls play a lot or get on this team or that team, and then I get them during the season. And I think as coaches, we got to do a better job at the high school level of taking kind of some pieces and developing those players. Marie Martin's a great example. She's probably my poster child for player development, a girl who didn't even start as an 8th grader on her A team and ends up honorable mention all league. And it's just really worked hard on her game. I think we've got other players who fit that build a little bit. So I'm excited about it. That's what excites me a little bit. Finding girls who want to work, who want to commit. We do our individual workouts in the summer. We do those twice a week. Girls do that. The 10,000 shot club, factors in a little bit, and then they play a little bit, and then we go to our tournaments. So we just continue to work on things.
Bill Bierman joining us in studio. Real quick, we'll get to Christian's question in a second here, but I was going to ask about, the summertime tournaments. How has that looked?
Well, this year was a little bit different. We didn't hit the MA. We usually play in 3 MAYB tournaments, and travel a little bit and pick up something here or there. This year was a little different than that. We went to contacted by Marysville's coach. Our guys have gone to Marysville for a couple years. He wanted to know if we wanted to come up for their girls So we said we would. That's a long ways away, but it had a good feel to it. So we went up and did that right out of the gate in June. Competed well, and played some teams that we normally don't see. So that's always fun. Then we came back here, and I was contacted by some Colorado schools who made the state tournament last year, and kind of just put something together. They said they'd be willing to come here and play. And I was like, well, that sounds great. So instead of going to a tournament that weekend, we just played with 3 schools from Colorado who made the state tournament last year. And we brought down Sydney, Nebraska, which was in their state tournament last year, and really good competition, and played here. And then we went to Colby's shootout thing that they had. And then we ended our year in Manhattan as far as like the tournaments. We played in Colby's Summer League, of course, did a few other things here and there, but those were kind of our main tournaments. Yeah.
All of those different summer league games and tournaments that you have, I know it's always important to try to get as much of the squad to stay together as you can. Did you get most of your projected roster there with you at those tournaments?
Yeah, so it's hit and miss, I'm fine with that. I think it's great. I would preach 3 sport athletes all the time. I think it's helped us. I don't think we need to specialize probably at this point. So we have those girls, and we've had a lot of softball, volleyball, different things going on. And you got to keep in mind as a coach that, it is the summertime. You got to try to balance a little bit. What do they want to do and their goals? Don't push too much on them, create too much of a stressful situation. So, Allie Cure was hurt all summer. So if you ask me, did we have everybody together? My starting point guard was gone. And that was a big issue for us coming into the year. We've had Haley for 3 years, and we're going to need a new point guard. And we needed a big summer out of Allie, and we weren't able to do that because she kind of broke her foot there. Now, she did play with us in this last one in Manhattan, and it kind of showed the difference she can bring a little bit from a tempo perspective. But and then most of it, we probably had 5 or 6. We kind of put some pieces together here and there, but most of them played the whole summer. Yeah.
Bill Bierman once again joining us here in studio, talking about Goodland Cowgirl basketball here over the summer months. How cool is it to have someone call you and said, "Do you want to host some stuff?" and you, like I said, I think it's so cool when we're kind of in this tri-state part, and to pull teams from Colorado and Nebraska and Kansas to come together and play. I think that's what makes the top side kind of cool, and to kind of do that over the summer, to see teams that you would never see in the regular season, I think it's got to be so unique.
Well, yeah, some of those, like this Marino, I don't know if I'm saying that quite right. I didn't even really know much about them, and then you get online. It's like I told the girls, they're not, if they're coming here to play us, they're pretty good. Right? They're not going to call you up and say like that. They want a piece of you, probably, is what it boils down to. Same with Sydney was really good too. Boy, they had some horses there too. So that's fun. That was exciting. Actually, what came out of that is probably kind of an agreement. Let's keep doing that. So that's good too, because the cost of stuff sometimes is kind of crazy. And all we do in that tournament is just cover officials. Like, no one's in it to make money. We're just in it to play. So that was good.
Mm-hmm. What how do I want to word this here? With kind of here at the end of this whole summer program, where does it stack up in comparison to previous years? Do you feel like you're kind of in that same area for the most part? Or are you like, what, when we hit season time here in late November, early December, we're going to have some work to do?
Well, we have work to do.
I mean,
but I'm probably, if I had to say, am I happy with where we're at going in after the summer? The answer would be, yeah. I feel pretty good about that. There's, I said Al, I wish we'd have had Al, but we didn't. So we're going to have to continue to develop and work on her game, and she'll be fine. Max Spresser hurt her ankle late in the year. We weren't able to keep her going a little bit. So besides things like that, though, but, others have had really good summers. Libby's transitioning to kind of Jaxie's spot for us, and that'll be a transition for her as she kind of learns a new spot. But you could see as the summer wore on how the comfortability of what she got was good. Lauren's in good shape. Hope's looking good. So, and then some of our other ones, Jason and Jaylee, have made progress. So McKenna Schick, a freshman for us, is going to probably be really good. So yeah, I feel good about where we're at. We talked this summer early when you could see some disappointment in their eyes a little bit, like we got kicked around by Nemaha, Seneca Valley, Seneca pretty good in that first game out this year. And just them understanding, hey, we're not going to be state level right now. Like, we're shooting for end of February. Like, let's just continue to work on our games and coming together and everything we have to be there. And I think that kind of alleviated some of that pressure early. And then I think it allowed us to continue to work this summer and get better.
Are you ready for school to start yet?
Yeah, I mean, certainly in a different role, right?
Right, in a different role.
Yeah. And you do get to a point where that structure and familiarity with school. I think we're ready for it. I think as a parent, you're kind of ready for it when you have kids too. You enjoy the time off, but then it's like, just get them back in school already. So, we'll be ready for it. It's exciting.
Bill, thank you so much for coming in this morning. Appreciate the time and the insight.
All righty. Thank you very much.
Once again, Bill Beer joining us here in studio. We'll take a break, come back, wrap things up with a little MLB trade deadline next here on the Blitz.
This is the famous footwear that makes us actually want to go back to school, with the newest styles from all your favorite brands like Nike, Adidas, Crocs, Converse, New Balance, Birkenstock, and more. You'll find everything kids want, all at prices parents can appreciate, because you don't have to overspend to make it famous. Famous Footwear even has fit experts in store to make sure you get the right size every time. So for the perfect fit, make it famous. Plus, right now, buy one, get one half off when you shop your local Famous Footwear or famous.com. Some exclusions apply.
Ugh, kitchen ants, runaway roaches, a spider. Relax, just use Zevo. Zevo bug sprays use essential oils to eliminate those pests and up to 20 household insects. Plus, Zevo is safe for use around people and pets when used as directed. Just spritz the bugs and wipe them away. Zevo, people friendly, bug deadly.
The Farmer State Bank of Oakley has been financing agriculture since the day we opened our doors. Hello, this is Corbin, and we are proud to be your locally owned partner in ag. We invite you to come and visit with us when you need to purchase new or used farm equipment, or need any type of agriculture or business loan. We have the knowledge, experience, and financial resources to keep you growing. The Farmer State Bank of Oakley, a tradition of community and agriculture for over 115 years. Member FDIC.
At NextTech Wireless, you are in the driver's seat. With all the latest devices, the choice is yours. You pick between 18, 24, or 36-month terms and get your device on us. NextTech Wireless, home on the range.
The Northwest Kansas District Free Fair is just around the corner. It all opens with the parade down Main Street, Goodland on Saturday. Be sure to attend the Modified Truck and Tractor Pull Wednesday night, the Ranch Rodeo on Thursday night, and the Goodland Qantas Demo Derby on Friday evening. Ride all the rides at one of the best home-owned carnivals around. Listen to live music on the Midway every night, plus lots of great food all day long, each day, in and around the 4-H building. It's the Northwest Kansas District Free Fair beginning this Saturday in Goodland at the Sherman County Fairgrounds. See you there.
KKCI.
It's the Morning Blitz.
What is this, amateur hour?
Weekday mornings from 7 to 8 Mountain, 8 to 9 Central on 102.5 U Rock and the Rocking M app.
Christian's got some explaining to do after the show there.
Oh, no stop command. Oh.
No stop command, no return to the show. He just wanted it to be over. When you have Bill on,
Done.
it's over. When you have Bill Bierman on, you can just put a period. It's
That's
over.
true. That's all you need.
It's fantastic stuff from Bill Bierman. I am super fascinated. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been very excited about the Goodland Cowgirl and Cowboy basketball seasons as a whole for the last few years, and it's, especially last year with both teams making it to state is super exciting. But this next year, I've got super high expectations for Cowboy basketball, and for the Cowgirls, I'm just super intrigued to see what they do because, all really the key pieces that were a part of those state tournament runs are now graduated on to other things in their lives. So, what does this next group of players bring, and how do they stack up? I'll be very intrigued. Very intrigued.
He's got to feel at least a little confident because he essentially had a reload year, not exactly like this one, but similar last year, where he loses a lot of key pieces and a lot of his scoring punch. And he turned to a lot of kids that hadn't been as significant of impactors as they had in years prior. And he's going to have to do that again, at least in the back of your mind. You got to be a little confident that, hey, we've been here before. We just did this and got back all the way to the final day of the state tourney.
Before we get out of here, I wanted to quickly highlight some things on the MLB trade deadline. Yesterday, kind of a big deal where it was three-way trade between the White Sox, the Cardinals, and the Dodgers, which saw the Dodgers get a closer. They also, and then the Eric Fetty and Tommy Pham went to St. Louis. And then, of course, the White Sox are just going to get prospects at this point in time, although I felt like they kind of got a small haul for what they gave away, in my personal opinion, but that's just me. Kind of the big storyline was the Royals. They made another deal. They signed pitcher Jared Lorenzen, who was pitching for the Texas Rangers. They gave up a prospect for him. Sorry, Michael Lorenzen. I apologize. Michael Lorenzen. The stat I love is that in his last 14 games pitching against AL Central foes, his ERA is 1.75. So he's really, really good against the teams that the Royals have faced a majority of them. So he's very, very good. The Braves also made a trade. They traded with the Giants. They're able to get Jorge Soler, former Royal, and Luke Jackson back there to there as well. Chaz Chisholm, who was a great utility player who could play all over the place for the Marlins. He's now with the Yankees. That was a deal earlier. I think there's gonna be some more deals. I think we'll see Skubal traded at some point in time if some team is ready to get. I mean, the Dodgers more than likely will get him because they'll trade the farm system for it. They do it all the time. I could see that happening, but there's this, and like Christian mentioned earlier, there could be another deal possibly with Jack Flaherty possibly going somewhere, maybe Arizona, maybe not. I don't know. But we'll see. But I think the big thing, remember, once again, was the Royals were able to get Mike Lorenzen to help add some depth to that pitching staff.
Yeah, and was it a no-no or a perfect? I think it was a no-no last year that he threw.
Yeah, I think a no-no is correct. Yeah. I don't think it's a perfect game. No name.
I was going to say, I didn't think so. But hey, that's a former Tiger right there. Gotta love it.
Yeah. So anyway, keep your eye on the trade deadline. It ends today. Keep your eye on that. And we will see a flurry of moves, I have a feeling, by the end of the day. And even after the deadline closes at like 3 o'clock Eastern, then there's like, oh, hey, forgot we got this in at the buzzer. Here's the paperwork on it. We'll see that for sure.
A 3-run walk-off home run, a game-winning walk-off with a walk-off.
His second walk-off hit of the season.
In walk-off fashion, that baby's go.
The trade deadline is really interesting. It always was interesting, but it's even gotten a little bit more intriguing for different reasons here over the last couple of years because of the playoff expansion. More teams are still in the hunt. They don't want to give up pieces. But who has the capital to do that, to stay in the hunt, or who wants to get out of the hunt, even though there's way more spots in the postseason than there ever used to be. So makes it a little bit more interesting at the trade deadline in both directions.
True.
Great story yesterday in the Olympics with the U.S. men's gymnastics team. They won bronze. I know it's not much, but that's the first medal that the U.S. men's gymnastics team has won since 2008. Did you see the storylines on some of these guys? Talk about an interesting group of characters. The one guy, of course, he looks like Clark Kent, pulls off his glasses, gets up and just does the pommel horse and just makes it perfect to secure that bronze for the U.S. men. And then Freddie Flips, as he's known, on the bars. There was a lot of good stuff from that men's gymnastics deal. A great story with all the different characters.
USA, by the way, still leading in total medals, still only at 3 gold. Come on, let's pick it up, guys.
And
girls, but for guys is a general term.
I get you.
4 more than second place France, 20 total medals for the USA right now. Katie Ledecky, by the way, in the pool this morning, about 40 minutes ago, just after the show started, competed in a 1,500 meter freestyle. The warm-up heat, or the sort of get-in heat, the trial. She won her heat by over 17 seconds.
We'll see you tomorrow here on The Blitz. Thanks again for listening.